how we can empower our learners to take ownership of their own learning? Wouldn't it be great if, along with the medical and clinical knowledge we share with them, we also teach them how to gather and retain information so they can continue to learn independent of us? Hi, I'm Amy Gardner, Associate Dean for Faculty Development at the University of Colorado School of Medicine. Take a minute to learn what Dr. Chad Stickrath, respected educator and recipient of multiple teaching awards, has to say about promoting self-directed learning in his educational practice.
David Sackett, the father of evidence-based medicine, is famously quoted for saying, "Half of what you'll learn in medical school will be shown to be either dead wrong or out of date within 5 years of your graduation." The trouble is, nobody can tell you which half. So the most important thing to learn is how to learn on your own. As educators, it can be easy for us to teach medical knowledge or clinical skills. But as Sackett noted, the most helpful thing we can do is to teach our students and trainees to be self-directed learners. Hi, I'm Chad Stickrath, Associate Professor and Assistant Dean for Medical Education at the University of Colorado School of Medicine. And today, I want to introduce you to a 4-step process for promoting self-directed learning among your learners. Self-directed learning occurs as a 4-step process, which has been described in the self-directed and self-regulated learning literature, which we've linked to this session. To make the 4 steps easier to remember, I think of them as play squared. That's P-L-A-A. So let's play. The first step in promoting SDL, self-directed learning, with your learners is P, planning the learning. To effectively plan their learning, our learners have to identify a gap or a learning issue. But where do these come from? Objective measure of performance from an exam or evaluation, direct observations from a teacher, or perceived gaps from a student. No matter the source, it's helpful to try to make it specific and objective, i.e. not read more. Learners usually need some help with identifying these gaps. Set effective goals. I prefer using the WHOOP goal framework, which has been shown to improve completion of goals over other frameworks. WHOOP stands for W is wish. So what is the goal that you're trying to achieve? O is the outcome, or why is this goal important to work on? Why does it matter to you as the learner? The second O in the WHOOP framework is which obstacle, what is going to come up to get in the way of you achieving your goal? Identifying that obstacle ahead of time helps us make a P plan, the last part of the WHOOP framework, for overcoming that obstacle and achieving our goal. So when you make goals, W-O-O-P, WHOOP. All right, let's keep playing square. Next is L, learning. Once you've planned, it's time to get learning. So the literature says there are lots of ineffective learning strategies, many of which we all have employed over time, including rereading, highlighting, cramming. Essentially, anything that feels fast and easy is likely not effective for long-term sticky learning. Things like listening to that podcast or Panopto on 3x speed, as an example. In contrast, effective learning strategies that you could use to achieve your learning goals or to address your gap include spacing your learning out over time, which forces you to try to recall previous information when you revisit it in the spaced fashion. Interleaving different learning topics can also be helpful for sticky learning. So focusing on a different subject interleaved with another subject over time. Instead of cramming one topic and then moving on to the next topic, it's better, studies show us, to learn about a little bit about topic A and a little bit about topic B together, and then go back to A, and then maybe add topic C. and then go back to A again. So interleaving your different topics within a study session and across time is more effective for sticky learning. Next, quizzing yourself with questions or writing down what you know about a topic on a blank page instead of rereading or highlighting has been shown to be much more effective for sticky learning. Finally, using multi-sensory cues when you are studying. For example, listening to a certain soundtrack when studying, or using an air diffuser with a certain scent, you can mentally recall that soundtrack and or that scent, which will help recall the learning chunk that was associated with that cue. You also want to embed your new knowledge in a sound mental model. For example, creating a cognitive map of topics and how they relate to one another. All right, we've done P, which is planning the learning, and we've done L, which is effective learning strategies to address your gap. Now let's do the A squared. That's two A's together. The two A's are assessing the effectiveness of our learning. Depending on the goal, this might be done through a quiz, through somebody observing your behavior, a coach providing feedback about what went well, what could go better next time, or where gaps remain. And finally, the last A is adjusting. So learners should make adjustments to either their previous goals to bring them to completion or to inform future self-directed learning efforts based on the assessment of what worked well and what didn't. Finally, remember, this won't happen in the busy clinical learning environment if you don't prioritize it, role model it as self-directed learner yourself, and create a safe space to identify growth areas. Now, go promote self-directed learning through Play Squared.